Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne and you're watching Marianne's Mystic Mansions. Welcome to your first half of October Tarot, Oracle, and Love Connection readings. And welcome to, as I always say, the featured sign, as I read for every sign twice a month, beginning of the month and then second half of the month. Today's beautiful featured sign that the reading is catered to is that of the earth element of Virgo. Virgo, we actually had just finished your sun season, which of course represents the month you're born. And it was so, I don't know, for myself as a Libra, which we're in the season of Libra now, which is what I'm leading to. You just brought so much more grounded and authentic and natural and kind of this calmer energy for myself and so many people on the planet. Also, it was a very healing time and it still seems to be carrying through. And I'm really grateful for you to that, or to you for that. And before I go any further, I will say we are definitely in the retrograde season now of Mercury retrograde in the sign of Libra, just after yours, Libra season. Libra, Mercury retrograde. However, you are a Mercury ruled planet, Virgo, so you are going to notice, and you generally tend to feel the Mercury retrogrades, maybe even more so than the sign that it happens to be in at times, because that's what has always kind of led you. That's been your impetus. That's your ruling planet. Mercury is the fastest planet. Mercury represents the mind. You're an incredibly intelligent sign. You're always thinking and wanting to expand your ideas and keep yourself motivated and moving and evolving and helping others in the process. Extremely self-sacrificing, very, very service-oriented Virgo. You know, the Virgin is what the title and yours archetype has been. Archetype. So it definitely stands true. I love your very organized and detail-oriented processes, your understanding and ability to work with time and time management, which is, it's so essential. I mean, I know it's man-made in a lot of ways, but the cycles and the phases of our life, these are a regular that we can, at least something we can count on, right? The phases of the moon coming up at night, the sun coming up in the day. We don't, even if it's not apparent, it is up there. And we just take this for granted, right? And yet along the way, and as we've come to find out, there's so many changes in even that aspect. So my readings kind of cater to definitely each and every horoscope sign, the characteristics, which are very, very fascinating and have come to find out are very, very accurate in a lot of ways, and the reasons why certain signs hang out together. That's my biggest enthusiastic kind of aspect of astrology. And I incorporate it because tarot and astrology are definitely combined. I mean, there's no question about it. And there's references in the tarot with each, you know, astrological sign as a specific card represented for them. And I love being able to share these messages. So what I do is, for those that are new, welcome to my channel. I would love to have you as a regular viewer. And if you follow me or like and share, you can almost bet that that will occur, because that's what YouTube wants. And that's how I can continue to generate these videos for you. However, what I do is I will read for the featured sign, as I said, for today, which is Virgo. Then I pick a highlighted connection that's definitely directed from Spirit. Spirit works through me. I definitely get intuitive hits and information that comes through with my readings. I'm a long-time tarot reader of over 30 years. It is my passion and it is my purpose. And I find great comfort and enjoyment in sharing the messages and these readings for everybody. So let us see what Spirit would like to know and what specific highlighted connection is for you for the first half of October. You know, the highlighted connection is someone you may be very, very aware of as soon as you find out what it is. Or it might be somebody or some feeling or energy exuded by that particular astrological sign that you're very in tune with right now. And that could be because you have that in your natal chart, aside from being a Virgo. We are so much more than our sun sign, right? So it's always really fun to look and see what all the planets are and then get a better idea. And then you can watch your moon rising in Venus specifically for this, connection, love readings. And it's love of all types. It's not just romantic, though. Of course, that's a huge part of it, especially during Libra season. Venus ruled Libra, right? Just about love and beauty, aesthetics, sensuality, absolute partnerships, relationships in general are essential and really help to balance the scales of any and all Libras, male and female alike. So your beautiful highlighted connection, Spirit wants you to know and have information about is going to be that of, wow, is that Capricorn? I just read for Capricorn as the highlighted connection yesterday. I generally do not read two highlighted of the same sign in a row. If it comes up a second time, I will. It's almost like it's pointing to Aquarius. Let's try one more time for you, Virgo. All right, Spirit. What is the most important relationship highlighted for Virgo for the first half of October, in addition to all the relationships for you, Virgo? Three's the charm. There we go again. It is facing Aquarius, so we're going to go with Aquarius. I love you with Aquarius. I really do. Aquarius is an air sign. We are in the season of Libra, which is an air sign. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a predominance of air element signs and planets that'll be in very strong configurations and, conjunctions and so forth for many years to come, okay? It transferred from the earth elements, which is yourself, Virgo, to the air, which is the mind, the grounded, practical parts of our life, meeting with the mind and the thoughts of how to get ourselves more stable, how to get more information in our lives that'll guide us and help us to inform us and, be truthful and justice oriented and fair and all the other things above. So that's a huge emphasis that's coming through, and I feel it, and I've been feeling it. And we do have Jupiter and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So Jupiter's the benevolent planet. It comes and visits each of our signs once every 12 years. So it's a very special year. Many changes can occur, many opportunities, luck that comes from nowhere, situations that are once in a lifetime, situations that are just transformational, and, you never forget it, okay? So this is happening for Aquarius. This is your highlighted. So this is telling me, with Aquarius ruled by Uranus, which is the unpredictable planet, right? Of surprises and undoings and freedom and innovative, wonderful, new perspective and outside of the box thinking in technology, medicine, very true to today and, what's happening in the real world with the vaccine and certainly technology, things that are unraveling we don't even know about yet, but they're going to help us all, which is once again the whole idea for certainly Aquarians, definitely all air signs like the idea of socialism and, did I say socialism? Socializing and connecting and sharing and, teaching and, just, this beautiful sense of community and acceptance for everybody. And Aquarius is probably the key figure in air signs that represents communities and big associations and, entrepreneurial type of endeavors and working with the masses to help the world, the global outlook, not just small individuals, little teams or something. You go where I'm going with this. So this is beautiful, and this is super, super interesting and attractive to you, Virgo, as a mental sign yourself, who's always wanting to improve, who's a perfectionist, if you will, in an imperfect world, which is not easy, specifically with yourself, and how you just want things to continue to grow. You want to reach out and continue to connect and network and, you know, grow your business, your intellect, your thought processes. You are mutable signs. You're very adaptable, willing to be open-minded, willing to change, and just, you know, evolve. So it's a beautiful combination. I see it a lot. I've seen it a lot in all types of partnerships. Certainly romantic and marriages that have been very long-term. Anytime you have Virgo or earth signs, there seems to be a long-term investment, certainly by Virgo, but they have a way of creating that in any relationship. You know, they just know how to work at it. They know how to really, you know, create this kind of harmonious aspect, you know, and it's always work, let's be real. But it's just a beautiful, grounded, like I said, very, very authentic. I don't know how else to say it. You know, there's a genuine want and deep depth of their caring and their compassion and their love. So I'm rambling, I know. And I might say that, you know, the retrograde, of course, which will last through October 18th, is once again in Libra. So it's going to be about relationships highlighted. It'll be about the compromise. It'll be about the slowdowns and the resets and the rescheduling and the flexibility that's necessary. It'll be about transportation, whether you're traveling and you're wanting to, you know, get away, or you needed a car, or you need to make sure that your car is running properly. That's under the guise of the Mercury, you know, aspects, in addition to technology in general. So making sure you back things up, and I'm crossing my fingers and always putting out the best of energy that all of my uploads do get up, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I just keep doing it till they do. So those are the things to keep in mind. But internalizing is a big part of it as well. It's a time for that slowdown so you can think. And especially Libras during their season, you know, their sun season, their solar return, to be very honest with themselves and to really just feel and understand where it is they're going, what's happening this year, what happened versus last year, you know, weighing it out, doing the balancing act always. And of course, we're in the season of fall, which is a beautiful time of year. And it's when the light and dark becomes balanced as well, as we, you know, we're entering fall, having left summer, and then before the winter where there's a whole lot more dark. So it's that beautiful time, but it's also, once again, I feel it automatically. I don't know if you can relate to this, but it is a calmer time. It is a time of taking care and taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, not feeling in a rush situation, because sometimes there will be things out of your control, of course, there always is, and allowing that and accepting it and letting this be the time to just look over details on things you may have already started, or you know, interests that you have, you know, and just kind of reviewing it until you want to really present it to the public, for an example. So there's some good, beautiful energies coming the second half of October. It's a whole different vibe, because a lot of the planets, in addition to Mercury going forward again, stationing forward on the 18th, outer planets like Jupiter and, what is it, Jupiter, Saturn, both in Aquarius, they'll be also going forward again, stationed direct on the 18th, I believe. And then we've got Pluto coming direct, I want to say around the 6th. I can't remember exactly, but a lot more planets are going to go forward. So the momentum is going to start to build, and it's beautiful, you know. And this is the time to just kind of recognize that's happening and just get all your ducks in a row. And this is something you love to do anyway, Virgo, and just planning ahead and then being ready and, you know, hit the ground running, as they say. So the 4 categories I love to read for the highlighted connection, in addition to all your connections. It doesn't have to be this connection. This connection is something that has something to do with a good percentage of you. And some of you know right away, you may not resonate, you may, but it could be something coming into your life within the first half of the month. And certainly with the new moon in Libra occurring, there's all sorts of new possibilities. and inspirations and intentions you can set for yourself, as always with the new moon. And it is about balance once again when it's Libra, and fairness, and truth will be revealed. Justice, it's a beautiful thing. If you have court cases, a lot of times, no matter what sign you are, it looks as though you need to make very clear and very careful about all the contractual messages or anything having to do with the legalities. Very important. Double checking, getting counsel if necessary, and then if possible holding off on anything that you can sign until after the 18th. But if not, just being aware that you may have to redo some things, that's all. So I've shuffled these really well because I've had a lot of repeats, and repeats mean that there's some things that a lot of people need to know, because Spirit is trying to make it very clear to all of us in a loving, gentle way. These are just messages to help guide us on our paths and our journeys. So the first category is always that of the overall energy bringing you to this reading. And if you were not able to see your end of the September month reading, Virgo, you might want to check back on that just for reference and see if things are going along the same path, or if you've noticed a definite change in the energies, which would make sense. And because you always generally have a different, not always, but many times have a different highlighted connection that's being brought to your attention. So your overall energy, okay, this must have come up at least 3 or 4 times in the first half of the month readings. That says something to me, but I understand it, and I think it's really important. And this is the 7 of Swords. Now, the 7 of Swords is definitely an air sign. It's an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini energy. We are, as I said, in Libra season, and the 7 of Swords is upright. So in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, it is very much depicted as, in a lot of ways, the meaning behind would be trickery, one kidding themselves, one trying to kid someone else, trying to pull the wool, or trying to do something that's a little mischievous, maybe trying to take something from someone else that isn't yours. All of those connotations and energies are messages that come with the sign. But what I love is, this is, by the way, the new deck I have. It's the first time I've used it. And it took me a while to really understand all the illustrations, because they're different than any other deck. And what's happened with this beautiful deck is they combine, Earth, which is you, of course, element, the animal kingdom, and the spirit world all together. And it's just beautiful. And the colors are more earth tones and like fall, and they're more muted and more mundane. And it just has this really beautiful, natural, nature-based feel to it, which I absolutely love, especially during the fall season. It seems to be extremely cohesive with the energies of fall. So I really, really enjoy this a lot. And the 7 of Swords, yeah, it is absolutely, a lot of times, being honest with ourselves. This is what the retrogrades help us with. Internalizing, once again, the relationships we're involved in, per se. The people that we have that are around us on a daily basis, by choice or otherwise, family members we choose to see or not. There's a great deal of healing that was taking place in your season, Virgo, and we had the full moon in Pisces, which is extremely healing and extremely capable of bringing our highest sense of intuition and awareness, as well as clarity and just incredible insights for our artistic side, our creativity. Pisces being very, very creative and very spiritually inclined, okay, and being in tune with that, and our intuition, but our higher power that connects with source, right? So it's just reminding us that you can try to kid yourself about how you're feeling, and I've done it many times. I'm not trying to be judgmental in any way. I want to see things in the best light many times. And I feel like now, there's just something that's breaking through for so many of us that is saying, you know what? Yes, that is a family member. I always believe that family, you know, ride or die, right? Just like we're blood and everything. And I'm realizing not so much. And I don't wish harm on anybody, right? It's not about that. It's just being completely and totally real with yourself about how that particular, as an example, family member could be, you know, a legitimate blood related family member. It could be someone you consider family. It just all of a sudden, and or maybe not all of a sudden, maybe it's been growing and everything for years, and you're just saying, I'm just kidding myself. There's no enjoyment here. There's nothing but toxic feelings and disregard, and there's no reciprocity whatsoever in our interactions. And it's like, I don't really want to be around that. And I stand strong in my conviction with that. It's the truth, it's the words, it's the thoughts, it's air, right? It's Libra. And it's all of us. It's all of us being reminded and recognized that, come on now. Why do that? Why kid yourself? And why subject yourself to that? Okay? If it's someone else and you're not aware of, that's somewhere in the, you know, on the side peripheral part of your life, and they're not wishing you well and they're talking behind your back, and that's a big part of life anyway, just release it and just surround yourself with that beautiful white golden protective light of life and you know, source, and just say, I'm good. I'm going to stand tall. I'm above this. You know, I'm going to be real. And you're very real. You're very authentic. You speak your truths. You really do. You say what you mean what you say. And you really want to be above board in many ways, Virgo. So I love this. I love this as a beginning. And I think it's been in that position for a lot of the readings that have this repeated card, but not everyone. It's also been in the possible blessings or obstacles, and even in the last position. But it's really important, and it's really coming to a head, if you will, with this retrograde, and then the new moon will bring even more insight and more power. Now, mind you, we also have Mars, the power of war, you know, the war god, the aggressive kind of, you know, I'm speaking what I feel, and I've got the energy to get me through anything I need to do, like maybe too much, you know, lacking sleep and everything, in Libra. Mercury in Libra through November 3rd because of the retrograde. What else? What other sign? It was Venus. Venus has now been in Scorpio, but yeah, there's a lot of strength and power. So even with the slowdown and everything, you're going to feel a real huge surge need for balance and justification and truth in your life. So, and I always welcome that. I don't know if that's how you are, but it's coming regardless. So that's the first half of the month for the overall energy. And then the second card is always the possible blessings or obstacles. I have not picked this one yet. This is the Hangman. So you are kind of in a place which retrograde represents. This represents the sign of Pisces, by the way. And I just mentioned that full moon. You could still be feeling the effects. Sometimes it lasts a couple of weeks, sometimes longer. Maybe you have Pisces in your natal chart, Virgo. It is your polar opposite. So there's always this kind of gravitational pull towards the two of you. This is a relationship that works really well as far as polarities go, because you fulfill each other's absence of, you know, energies. Water versus earth, right? But very, very conducive, very harmonious, very needed, you know, together to grow and expand. So I really like this, and it also absolutely represents a different perspective, seeing things in a whole different way, and wanting to open your mind and your soul and saying, okay, I get that. I never really had, but I want to, and I want to see things, and I want to understand. And for heaven's sakes, you know, you're like that, Virgo, anyway. You're going to delve into everything to the most you possibly can. You know, the expansion and the learning and the growing, like I said, it's never ending with you. And this is what that represents. And it's a stalling. It's a period of waiting and patience, and come on, retrogrades bring that on, right? And that's perfect. So I consider that a blessing, because the Hangman is really not in this particular depiction, but really it's a very peaceful and tranquil place. There's a big glow around this man that's hanging upside down by his feet in a position that's like a yoga position. So that's the world. That's meditative, that's just allowing and opening up to the Om, you know, the universe, the everything, you know, that we all are, the consciousness, the oneness. So that's actually great. And the only thing that would be an obstacle is if you're not feeling patient. But it really is it would behoove you to be so. Because although I think a lot of times Virgos are more patient than a lot of other sun signs, maybe you have other aspects that make you less patient. It is asking you to be more patient and to take it in stride and to go with that flow, which is also very much a part of the Piscean, you know, mantra. Just let's go with the flow. Two fish swimming, you know, in different directions, but just the water and the fluidity and just the mutable sign as yourself, Virgo. Allowing, okay, not being in control, letting go. So yeah, that's a very important and understandable energy coming through for you for the first half of October. The third category is finances, and it is the energy of money. Absolutely, it's important for all of us, and I know as a practical earth sign that you are, Virgo, it's very much a part of your daily concern, and you work hard and you want to make sure that you are utilizing it and you're smart about your money, and most of the time you really are. People come to you for advice, you know, and you can still have fun, you can still enjoy your life, but there's just things you have to be aware of and not kidding yourself, as the first card represents. So just being on top of that. And also it could be wealth of all types. And I would say health has always been a very important thing to a lot of Virgos. They take the natural course a lot of times. They tend to wear very little makeup a lot of times. This is a generalization, I know, but for many Virgos I've met, they're just so down to earth and just so, you know, real. They plant their own gardens. They've got this beautiful love of natural foods and all the senses and such, you know, just the earthly, you know, beautiful bounty that's there for us naturally. Appeals to many, many Virgos, so, and earth signs in general, and people in general, but yeah. We're talking about you, Virgo. So financially, let's see what Spirit wants to share with you for the first half of the month. Wow, you have the, now I believe this is the, yeah, and I'm going to double check here real quick. This is what I was having issues with before. It looks so similar. But I want to say it is still it is the Ace of Swords, or Knight of Swords, forgive me. The Knight of Swords is once again an air element. There's the air Aquarius. There's a lot of air energy coming through and you're resonating with. And certainly could have a lot to do with Libra. It's the sign right after you. Of course, there's always been a kind of an osmosis energy for that as well. And you do well with Libra. You do. You're an earth sign and you have more practicality. You're not as much in the mind, but more so than the other earth signs with the Mercury aspect and the ruling planet. But Knight of Swords is fast, quick information, and if it has to do with your finances or something having to do with your wealth, because interestingly enough, if let's say your health is what you consider your wealth, the Swords also represents higher learning and educated institutions like banking and finances and medicine and doctors and, you know, surgeons and so forth. So you might be contemplating and in a place of waiting with the Hangman regarding a surgery. I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying it can cater to that. And it might be information coming very quickly about what to do and what procedure, or perhaps maybe wanting to get a second opinion and do all your due diligence at this time during the retrograde and making sure you feel comfortable and this is right for you. If it pertains to the health. If it doesn't and it's your wealth of money, you're going to get some information coming through. And I feel like there's going to be some institution, perhaps a bank, like I said, or some kind of, you know, maybe you want to borrow money, you know, you're asking for a loan, PPP and so forth. All those things are still very much happening and very active and very, very helpful for a lot of people. So maybe it has to do with something that had already taken place and you're waiting patiently. But this is a fast-moving energy, like I said. And look at this beautiful card. Look at these depictions. They're incredible, the illustrations. I'm totally blown away by this, and I love it more and more each day. Just know that an influence having to do with air, so there's a conversation that's coming through quickly, maybe unexpectedly, maybe you're waiting for it, but fast moving regarding finances or wealth of whatever type you consider to be. And could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra presenting this information, or someone that exudes those type of energies. So yeah, I like it. And knights are, you know, they're the messengers, so stay tuned. I feel like it's good news. Let's go that route, okay? I really do. And guess what? This next category kind of capsulizes everything as far as the 4 categories, and it is the surprises and wishes. So let us see as we go along the journey with the, you know, beautiful tarot, and see what this unexpected message is about. And could it be amazingly beautiful surprise and an answer to a wish of yours? Hard to say with the Aquarian energy, once again, of Uranus, which has also been in the sign of Taurus, your fellow earth sign, the grounded, you know, stable Taurus, and the unexpected surprises that come from nowhere and change our life in a dime, right? On a dime of Uranus. The freedom seeking, you know, rule breaking versus sturdy, steady, constant, you know, Taurus. Such a total different, you know, polarity there. But that's where what has it been since 2000? I want to say 2018. Uranus has been in Taurus and will remain there till, you know, about 2026, I believe. So that's going to affect you as well as a fellow earth sign. It could be phenomenal. It could be things happening like you would never have dreamed of, or it could be things that slowed things way down, like for a lot of us last year. Perfect, right? Completely synchronistic with what's happening in real time. But your beautiful surprises and wishes, oh, wow. I have not pulled this since I've been reading from this whole first half of the month readings, but it's a beautiful card. And it's also really beautiful for you because it is the world. It is the major arcana. It is walking through a vortex and an entire change, like an entire move, maybe across country, a whole new perspective, a whole transformation, like this incredible revolutionary change that's been building and been, you know, just building. I don't know, something that you have wanted, you have internally wanted, you maybe have been speaking about, and it's just this message comes through and the opportunities are there and you're going for it. You are going for it. And I mean, this could be one of the biggest transformations of your life in the most beautiful, phenomenal ways. It's a lot of times it's always so much up to you. Notice how I'm tripping and with the retrograde, especially the beginning, but you know what? You understand, and I know you feel what I'm feeling. This is absolutely beautiful. This is a wish of yours, and it's for you to keep, but you can share it too. I'm always open to all sorts of conversation and comments on my channel, and I will always respond to the ones that are legitimate. You know, I got to keep it real that way. I welcome loving, you know, light kind of repertoire, you know, conversation. So this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And maybe it is a surprise. Maybe you're going to be given this opportunity or invitation or, you know, message to travel or, you know, just go to some places you've always wanted to go and never been able to. You've had to wait with COVID. We all have. And it's like, now I really want to do this and I'm not going to stop wanting it and it's going to happen and I'm going to create it myself. So the messages are there. You're putting it out there. It's being heard by source and then it comes back and here's your chance. Here's your chance. So congratulations to you. Beautiful, beautiful reading. A lot of different elements involved, you know. 2 major arcanas. And 2 swords, actually. So maybe not that many different. But the emphasis of the major arcana, which is essential for you to hear through spirit. That's the most important of all messages, are the major arcanas. They're the life-changing, you know, life-changing messages that happen to all of us. So that's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to finish with the 2 oracle messages for you, Virgo. And it's going to be first with the Starseed Oracle. It's one of my favorite Oracle decks. And remembering that these are just information and messages that come through because, well, they're all upside down and backwards, but that's okay. And I don't read them reversed. It's just the way the deck has been shuffled. These are sent with love, this great wisdom and, just spiritual enlightenment, encouragement, upliftment to share for you, and a message that is especially for you. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's all I can say. It's just, I don't remember this one ever. And the word in the message and the word specific is perspective. And we've already been through the perspective and how much of importance that is, how much of a difference it makes on how we as individuals perceive things, and how when we change that perception, it changes everything. And the words associated are none of this matters, zoom out, and common ground. Wow, well, there's the ground as the Virgo. Look at this. It's like this perspective, and that's the earth, and we're this vast, universe, unlimited, unending, eternal universe, and there's earth. So when you look at life in that way, it truly changes the energy. It does it instantly, and I love doing it. I love using the analogy of like, okay, when I look at it from up here, same idea. It just instantly changes the things that just don't really matter that much, People that just aren't really necessarily right or need to be a part of the whole, It's just they were for certain reasons at some times, and then it changes, This is phenomenal. This is beautiful. I can't wait to read what it says specifically, because I honestly never remember getting that, but I really, really love it. Element of P. Just going by there we go. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective. Shift your point of view and zoom out, out, out. We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for our eventual extinction. It's getting a little heavy. We build fences and walks and create invisible borders. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. I'm getting emotional right now. I'm sorry. I've not read this. The moment is a breath in the timeline of your life, or this moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe or world as we see it. And the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, to find deep compassion in your heart, to gain a greater perspective of humanity and this fleeting moment in the timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and will ever be. Wow. Well, I guess that pretty much says everything, and I'm totally taken in by that. I hope you are too. That's why I love this deck. It's just, and I have not read that before, so that's very, very special. It has a great special meaning for you, Virgo. So I hope you can fully take that in and understand that. And I'm just going to finish with your oracle message from the Super Attractor Manifestation deck, where we manifest in this speck of a universe, because we are manifestors, and we do create, and we create our perspective as well, and what we choose to bring into our lives and give out on a moment by moment play, right? So you can create anything and everything, and I hope that you're wanting to create those incredible, great feelings that create the life that you truly want. That's a huge part of it. It's essential for the law of attraction to actually happen. So I will close with this last message for you, beautiful Virgos, and all of your relationships and love connections, as love is essential in our lives and on the planet. I love this one. I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. Well, I think there's been a lot of references to slowing down during this retrograde because it does it naturally for you. But I think you want to kind of just join in just because it's the right thing and it just feels right. And it's going to be very conducive for what comes next, okay? And I just want to thank you for your time. It is precious. And I'm always so grateful to be here. Hope to have you come back for the mid-month readings, okay? Take especially good care. Lots of beautiful energies coming through. Appreciate you a lot. Until next time, bye for now.